this is the Hornady Primer tool. Pretty simple stuff. What happens is, let's see, at the small side, I think this just kind of goes down here, and you put your seating, your case holder in there. And what will happen is we're going to put some primer in here, and the primer will go through that little part there and push up, and that will push it into your case. Alright, so we have 26. Here's kind of a trick that I do. Let's move this so you guys can see this. So what I do is I count out. So in this case it'll be 30. This is small pistol primer. Okay. So I don't know if this is a full 50. It is not. 10, 20. Alright. Now they put them in there upside down, which is good for us, because 20, so I'm going to put in 30. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, right. Okay. So I take this off and I put this upside down like this, and this is how I keep from losing all my primers. Okay, let me put that in there, and let's make sure it goes in. Looks good. So I will take, you can kind of see there's no primer in there. Put this in here. Why is that not going in there? Looks like it should. There we go. And now it's primer. So once again, I'm going to work across. Primer in there. Put this in there. Boom. There's primer. It's seated. Now we're down to putting powder. So we've primered our all of our casings, and now we're down to powdering it. Now there are all kinds of different ways. Now this is again a load from the beginning. Here I'm going to take this off. This is just a holder for this. The way this works is if you screw this in, you get less powder, and if you screw it out, you get more. There's some powder left in there. Sometimes there is. I clean them out, but I don't do. Sometimes I don't do a great job. So this is all the way screwed in. Wow, we're going to screw this out a little bit at least. This is going to have a lot less powder. I was doing some rifle before, so I screwed that in. We put that in. And what you want to do, we'll talk about this more as we go along, but this is a digital scale, and we'll be using that a lot, but we'll be talking about how we use that. This is just a little bowl for the powder to go into. This is a funnel, so the funnel goes onto the bullet. This funnel is kind of a unique shape. You can kind of see, I kind of load usually larger calibers, so you can kind of see what scratches the sides there, but all the way down to really small necks and that kind of thing. So that fits over a 9 really good. You want to make sure that it's all the way seated. That way the powder doesn't go all the way to the sides and everything. So again, we're using our Hornady 9th edition book. If you have a newer book, that's great. If you have an older book, that's great too, probably. We reloaded these. These are all 100 grain bullets. They're actually 104, but we're going to count them as 100 grain projectiles. So when you look at this, you'll see there's quite a few different powders that you can use, but one of them is unique. I happen to have some unique, so that's what we're going to use. So the red is the fastest you can put through this this particular caliber. Personally, I never load into the red, but that means that you can, if you load in the red, you can mess up your brass in the future. By loading outside the red, the number right before the red, I've never had problems with the brass, and actually I don't know how many reloads I've done on some of my brass, but I know it's uppers of 10. Some folks only get like 2 or 3 loads out because they load in the red. I've never seen a good reason for that. So for instance, with our unique powder, we can load 5.2 grains and it'll shoot at 1,150 feet per second. I see no reason to go faster than that. If you load into the red on the unique powder, you will be going up to 1,200 feet per second. Now, also, I have in the past used a powder that goes better. Power pistol is one that I usually have laying in the garage. I've run out of power pistol, but it's a really good powder, and with that you can load 6.7 grains and go up to 1,250 feet per second. And loading it to that white zone and going faster, I've never seen problems with the brass either. So some guys go, well then why can't I load into the red with like this Win Auto Comp and go same 1250? Well, actually the pressures, it's the burn rate and the pressures originally, so that's our problem. But like I said, I don't see a problem with loading with the unique, and that's what we're going to do, and going at 1,150. Honestly, is that extra? It is going to go further if you're going faster, but it's a 9mm, and to be honest with you, distance isn't a big deal with us. We have a small, it's a small caliber gun. It's also a it's used for a short distance. So now I don't screw this all the way in. Like I don't think, maybe let me show it to you. So I don't screw this all the way in with the first try. I just kind of screw it pretty far in. You see, it's like a thread or two out. So what we want to get to is as close as possible with unique. Again, let's measure one more time. 5.2 grains. I want 5.2. So the whole time I'm looking for as possible to 5.2 grains as I can get. Not loading very many. So we kind of have a pretty cool trick here. Oh, I didn't bring it up here yet. So one of the things that we're going to use is called a tickler or trickler. I've also heard it called that. What that does is as you turn this, it'll drop 1 or 2 grain of powder. So when we get down to it, we're going to be using that a lot. Hopefully not a lot, but we're going to be using that. And what we want to do is open this this up to where it's just far enough. So if we're doing 5.2 grains, I remember that, I kind of want to get about 5.1 or 5 with a handle turn. Every time you turn this handle, it drops powder. Okay, so we're going to start out by zeroing this out. When you turn it on, if you turn it on and you leave this on there, it zeroes itself out. So we can see 0. So when I move this, it'll go to another number because it's compensating for the bowl there. All right, let's see what we get. 2.7. So I kind of want to double that distance. Okay. Now, so like I said, we're kind of cheating. We want to fill up or get some into this tickler anyways, so we might as well use these first couple of charges to get there. Again, we're looking for 5.2. That's 4.8. I'm going to move this just a little bit. Again, I'm going to push that into there. This is a pretty big powder. This actually can be used for shotguns as well, and that's why that's mostly what I use this unique for, actually. So. Ooh, 5.8. We overshot. Scoot it down a little bit. Again, we don't care if we overshoot at first because it's not like we're not using it. We're filling up our tickler. Alright. 4.7. Boy. I wonder if we're getting repeatability here issues. Alright. 5.1. Boy, you can't get much better than that. 5.3. Let's make sure it's zeroed. I said I want to get it to as close to the number as possible, then I don't have to use that tickler as much. Yeah, it wasn't zeroed. Lost 0. Geez, 5.2. If every charge is that, we won't have to use the tickler. Okay, well, it says 5.1, so it must be like right there on the edge. Let's give it a little bit. You'll see how this works. So at first, it takes a little while to get the. It's got rifling inside, kind of like a barrel. It's got a little bitty hole, and so as you turn, some of the powder falls into it. Oh, there's not enough powder for it to do that. There we go. So the powder has to be able to fall into the hole. Alright, here we go. Getting a little bit falling in there. 5.1. 5.2. So I'm not too sure that that's still zeroed. Okay. Just for good luck, let's try this again. Oh, I didn't check 0. Darn it. No, it's zeroed. Wow. This is almost perfect. That never happens. 5.2. Alright. Son of a gun. Look at that. That's all you do. Make sure it's all in there. And what I like to do is then move. Again, I usually use multiple holders because we're only doing 26. I'll just move it. When you're done, there's a way to quality check this. You can weigh each bullet, and they should weigh the same, or each casting before the bullet's seated. But if you look at it though, they should be about the same height. And we'll kind of look at that here in a second. All right. Okay, that's still zeroed. I hope this still drops 5.2. That would be nice. 5.1. And 5.2. There's a couple little greens on there I want to get off. Yeah, didn't make it onto the thing. But now, after each bullet charge, some of the stuff you'll find is every now and again the funnel will stick onto the neck of the bullet, so they look like they're about the same. Let me get that close to you. So they kind of look like they're about the same height. That's a pretty good quality check.